I would like to remind you of the 10 square structure that we discussed last week. 2 single squares at the top center and 4 stacks of double squares added right below, which makes a 10 square structure. Make sure that each unit is a square that has the same width to height proportions. On your newsprint paper, draw a 10 square structure and draw the 3 masses with bony landmarks as we have done last week. You can also use the drawing that you already have done last week as well. This time, we will draw the muscle diagram in red conte over the bony structure. It is good to recognize the landmarks that appear as bumps and dimples over the skin as they remind us of the bony structure underneath the skin. As we work on the muscle groups, you can look at the textbook page number 134 that is posted on the Laulima lesson page as a reference to recognize each group of muscles. I am drawing the frontal view first and starting with 2 major muscles that gives the specific forms to the neck and the shoulder in figure drawing. Trapezius muscle starts from the back center of the cranium mass and spreads down to cover from one shoulder point to the other shoulder point, giving the shape of the shoulder behind the neck. This muscle continues down to its tail at the base of the rib cage in the back, creating a shape of a diamond, which gives the name trapezius muscle. The neck muscle, sternocleidomastoid muscles, are 2 sets of strong rope-like muscles that gives the convex shape of the neck. As the name suggests, it starts from the mastoid process, which is the back, both sides of the cranium mass, and spiraled around the neck on both sides. Each set of muscles connects to the top of the sternum, and about 1/3 of the clavicle collarbone helps us to rotate our neck side to side. I hope you'll see the double convex shape of the shoulder and the neck. Now I am drawing the pectoralis muscle that starts from the both sides of the sternum and connects to the underarm, covering the upper chest area. The upper arm muscle, deltoid muscle, shaped like a triangular Greek letter delta, and covers the upper arm. Under the deltoid muscle, you'll see the biceps and triceps. Below the pectoralis, our chest muscle, I am drawing in the rectus abdominis, which starts under the sternum, covers the opening of the rib, and reaches down to the pubic bone. Central axis on the muscle is clearly visible, and it's almost identical to the center of the double square stacks in our 10 square structural drawing. 4 parts, small muscles can be seen here on this muscle, and you can locate the belly button at about the highest point of the iliac crest, which is the top of the pubic mass. Now I'm drawing the external oblique muscle that allows us to twist your upper torso side to side, and visible above the external oblique muscles are the serratus muscles that protects the ribs. Here we see the 6th to the 9th ribs reinforced with the serratus muscles. And here is the gluteus medius that starts from the top of the iliac crest, which is the top of the pelvic mass, and connects to the great trochanter. Let's move to the back view. It may be a good idea to look at the illustration of the muscle groups in textbook as a reference. Most of the muscle groups discussed in the frontal view will be also visible from the back. The trapezius muscle started from the back of the cranium mass and reach out to the one shoulder point to the other shoulder point, and it covers about 2/3 of the spine of the scapula and comes down to create the tail at the back of the rib cage. Appears as kind of a diamond shape from the back view, and the name trapezius muscle comes from the shape. So here we see a side view where we can observe the definition of the start and end point of the muscles, which makes it easier to see the relationships of the muscles that we see from the front and the back of the figure. We see the trapezius muscle that starts from the back of the cranium mass and covers the shoulder to give the shape of the shoulder behind the neck and continue down to its tail at the base of the rib cage in the back. We see the neck muscle, sternomastoid muscle, that starts from the mastoid process, which is the back of the cranial mass, and spirals around the neck on both sides, connect to the top of the sternum and about a third of the clavicle collarbone. Now I am drawing latissimus dorsi that starts from your underarm and covers most of the back, then connects to the highest point of the pelvic bone in the iliac crest, which emphasizes two round shapes of the rib cage. Here is the gluteus medius that we drew in the frontal view as well. It starts from the top of the pelvic bone, iliac crest, and connects to the great trochanter, which shows a bit of its functions of pulling the leg outward. And gluteus maximus gives the shape of your rear end and starts from the sacrum here and connects to about the third of the upper leg, femur bone. Now you can go ahead and start with the 10 square structure and get started. If you want to find the textbook pages for the anatomical section, they will give you a great references, which is located in this week's Laulima lesson pages.